And obviously everybody here and inside of our program is thinking about his son as well. Our thoughts and prayers are with him. So Saturday's unique opportunity, celebrating a 51-year anniversary of Conridge Holloway, first black quarterback in this league. Pretty special opportunity to honor a great legacy, somebody that meant so much through who he is, his character, how he handled himself here, and post-playing career as well, and the legacy that he's left behind. Like all of the guys that have statues and are honored outside of our stadium, it's an awesome way to honor their legacy. Smoky grays will be worn in a pattern that were similar to the uniform that he wore while he was here. Smokies are something that our players and recruits get excited about, and hopefully our fan base does too. So look forward to seeing 102,000 of our closest friends here on Saturday evening for our program. It's been a long time since we've been inside that stadium with our fans, and look forward to that. For a lot of our guys, it's the first opportunity that they're going to have. Drive by Vol Navy, walk in front of 40,000 fans in the Vol walk before the game, and run out to 102,000. So looking forward to that. This week, good opponent in Austin Peay, and excited about us going into week 2, just continuing our football journey, continuing to get better here as we go through the season. Opportunity for us as we look back at the tape this morning, ways that all of us can improve in all 3 phases of the game. So open it up for questions.
Yeah, Coach, 2 things, house cleaning. One, from the injuries that we saw on Saturday with Amari and Squirrel. I think Amari and Tyler came back, but Squirrel did not. Where are you there? Are there any other injuries that you're concerned about? And 2, when you watched the tape, what did you think of Joe's kind of eyes decision-making? Did you like the way he saw the field? He felt like his eyes were good. What did you think when you watched the tape?
Yeah, the guys that you talked about, Squirrel, is just the time of the game. That's the only reason that he wasn't back in the game. Feel like we're in a good spot there with those guys. Joe, I thought it during the course of the ball game on the video too. I thought his decision-making, where his eyes were at, was really solid throughout the course of the football game.
Your quarterbacks over the years have thrown very few interceptions. Hendon didn't, Joe hasn't. What are the principles you and Joey teach that minimizes picks?
It starts with, very small details, but, what we do all offseason. Understanding our schemes, being solid in their decision-making based off of the defensive structure, the time that we spend on defensive structures, and then the fundamentals of playing the position. And you put all that together, you should be in a good position to take care of the football.
Same in the back then.
Post-game, Jalen Wright said that they feel that they're the best running back group in the entire nation. How tight is this group, and is it one of the tightest that you've seen throughout your time?
Yeah, very selfless group. They want to be successful individually, but I don't think there's anybody more happy about the success of the guy that's on the field than the guys that are on the sideline during the moment of that success. And at the end of the day, that group understands that the strength of the position can't be one guy. They pull hard for each other. They're great competitors on the practice field. They push each other in the meeting room. And, I think like all of our position groups, they care about the people inside of that room.
Coach, how did you evaluate the offensive line? You ran for almost 300 yards without Cooper and, moving a bunch of guys around and playing a bunch of different people.
Yeah, I thought for the moving parts that we had, the different guys that played at center, the communication, getting all 5 guys on the same page as far as where our targets were that can be in the run game and in the pass protections, they did a really solid job. There's some things that all 5 and really all the guys that played, you're looking at 8 guys that played a ton of snaps, I think maybe 13 that played during the course of the ball game. There's a lot of things that they got to clean up too, which is anticipated as you go from week 1 to week 2, but all in all, really solid performance by those guys.
Sure, there's things you want to improve, but what about the wide receivers? How do you evaluate how they played in that first game?
Yep, subtle details in some of the structure that we saw from the opponent that we can be a little bit cleaner in. All in all, I thought they performed well. There's some things early in the football game that everybody saw that we weren't quite in sync, not far off either. I anticipate us continuing to grow and shore those things up.
Two things. On the 2 kickoffs that went out of bounds, was that something where he just hit it poorly, or was that like a design, like, try to hit it high and pin him corner, and let your coverage teams do the work? And then 2, because you're so log jammed at DB with a lot of bodies, any thought about giving D. Williams some type of offensive package just because he can, is pretty special with the ball in his hands?
D is special with the ball in his hands, but he's going to continue to work at the corner spot and obviously be heavily active in our return game. Thought he did a really nice job throughout the course of the day. I thought the way that he responded after something not going his way showed maturity and actually pointed that out to the team after the ball game and did that again today. The kickoff out of bounds, just fundamentally just a little bit off, and that's why you end up, hooking in a little bit. It's kind of like your golf shot.
The defense, especially like in the secondary, seemed to have taken a nice step in that first game this season. And then can you also talk about James Pearson, just what he's been able to do in that role?
Yeah, again, the back end played a lot of guys. For the most part, their fundamentals, their technique, their eyes were in the right spot. They played with good fundamentals, which allowed them to be in a good position and made some plays on the ball. There's things that they, again, can continue to clean up. Like I said, all offseason, too, a part of being better in pass defense is what you do up front and being able to apply pressure to the quarterback. You guys saw that on Saturday. Those guys did a great job up front of creating havoc in the backfield.
Two things I'll ask them separately. How did Beasley and Peay grade out?
Beasley and Peay?
Yeah.
They graded out really well. Keenan got a game ball. Beasley played really well.
And any impact at all different than what you might have thought with the clock rules with the first down? Not the clock
Yeah, I
messed
think,
up?
the clock, you hear people kind of all over the map of how it's actually affecting the game. I mentioned, I think a week ago what, some of the analytics kind of said on the first few ball games. I think you find more out as you get into more conference play here of how the game's actually playing out. So we'll continue to see that.
Josh, your 2 new centers, Ollie, he played guard, started a few games a few years ago. Kind of his growth at center, how have you kind of seen it happen over this offseason? And Dane Davis has been primarily a tackle. Did he move to center like a couple weeks ago? And kind of how has he sort of handled that kind of big transition going from outside?
Yeah, Ollie, smart, cares about this program, cares about his teammates. He's a great teammate, and this offseason continued to change his body. I thought he had his best offseason. That's why I think he's playing his best football right now since we've been here. And he's smart, moving from guard to center. It's different, yeah, but he's gotten consistent reps at the center position throughout our tenure here. He's done a really nice job. And Dane didn't take reps there until Coop went down. Just as we looked at things, it felt like he had an opportunity. We didn't know if he'd handle it well, how he would respond in there. He's really smart. He can communicate at a really high level. We knew that from his time at tackle. It's been really pretty seamless for him in the middle of it. He's done a great job and really natural there.
Anything specific on Austin Peay you can expand on?
No, defensively, got to handle tempo. They'll spread the football field. RPO game, got to do a really good job on perimeter screens, defeat blocks, and make tackles in space. Line of scrimmage will be everything for us. Offensively, going to have balance and be able to run the football and throw the football vertically down the field off of all of that. Nothing different than who we are. Special teams, got a chance to take another step this week. There's some really positive things. I think we had 13 freshmen that were playing on teams. Thought they did a really nice job. There's another step for those guys, obviously, as young as they are in their career. But, our specialists, there's some really good things. We just got to be more consistent. Okay. Everybody have a great afternoon.